Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free-to-download, free-to-use, next-generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you helped build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early-stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.
Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Well, today is Friday, December 20th, 2024, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. The Republicans come up with a plan to avoid the government shutdown after Elon Musk and Donald Trump screwed up the previous plan. We'll see how that one goes. President Joe Biden announces more student loan forgiveness to the tune of some $5 billion. Starbucks workers, they're going on strike, partnering with Teamsters on that one. Also, New York Mayor Eric Adams, he joins the perp walk of the man who was arrested for killing a healthcare executive. Why the hell is he there? And also, one of his top aides is indicted for helping out a business associate get approval on a building, and they gave her son a $100,000 loan to buy a Porsche. You may go to jail for $100,000, and it was a loan? I got lots more to talk about, y'all. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time, and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on Go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
All right, y'all might as well take advantage of this announcement because you ain't gonna hear this over the next 4 years. President Joe Biden announces another $4.28 billion in student loan relief for 60,000 more Americans. The forgiveness will be delivered to individuals enrolled in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program also known as PSLIF. This allows for debt forgiveness for people in jobs like firefighting, nursing, and teaching after 10 years of continuous payment. And according to a fact sheet from the Department of Education, this announcement brings the total loan forgiveness by the Biden administration to $180 billion for nearly 5 million Americans. Like I said, you ain't gonna see this here because Donald Trump and Republicans, they hate loan forgiveness, except if you're rich. And so you may actually see them claw back some of this money over the next 3 years. Joe Richardson is a civil rights attorney joining us out of Los Angeles. Glad to have Joe. Also, we're going to be joined in a moment by Matt Manning, who is a civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi, Killer Bethea, communication strategist out of D.C. Glad to have both of you here. Would you be joined by Matt in a minute? Again, all these people, they wanted Trump, they wanted Republicans. You know what? And there was a whole bunch of people, Kelly, who were bitching and moaning, you know, Biden, okay, that $180 billion, that ain't no big deal. I want complete loan relief. Well, the Supreme Court actually knocked that down. And so for the dumbasses who did not vote in 2016 and we got Trump instead of Hillary Clinton, you can thank them for that, because had Hillary Clinton won, you would have likely had Supreme Court justices who agreed with Biden on that. Instead, we got these hard right folks. And again, for all the folks who've been whining and complaining, they might as well get used to it. They're not going to see student loan relief. And so for the people who sat their asses at home in November 2024, deal with it.
Pretty much. And it's sad because there's this, I can't remember her, I think it's Chelsea Ramsey. She made a song, you know, something about the leopards eating their own faces, something to that effect. But basically, you're hurting yourself. You hurt yourself by voting this man in office, because it's not just about the presidency. It's about everything underneath it, right? And student loan forgiveness is just one prong that is in jeopardy of being killed by way of this administration coming in. So I feel like Biden is doing everything he can to combat what is to come so that it'll be even harder to undo, right? But again, student loan forgiveness is just the beginning. You know, you're about to see stuff regarding women's health. You're about to see stuff regarding LGBT rights. You're about to see stuff. Every aspect of your personhood is about to be impacted by this administration. We're about to go into a segment soon enough regarding the government shutdown. That impacts millions of Americans, whether you want to admit it or not. And the fact that, you know, people really think that this man still, with all of this, knowing this, they still believe that he has their best interests at heart. I don't know if there's a pill, a form of therapy, or what to undo that mental sickness, but something's got to give.
Hey, again, Joe, there were a lot of people who complained. They had all the smoke in the world for Vice President Kamala Harris and Democrats. It's a lot of black folks, and they were sitting here mad and upset. Okay, well, you're gonna get exactly what you wanted. You didn't want her there, she's not gonna be there. Now you have to live with whatever decision. And here's the thing that I keep trying to explain to people, Joe, who don't get. This idea that if I sit on the sidelines, then that's gonna make them do what I want them to do next time. That ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I mean, history shows Democratic Party not gonna move further left. They're gonna move more to the middle, further right. And for the people, again, who complained about who wanted more student loan debt, you're gonna get zero under Trump. Zero under the Republicans controlling the House and the Senate. And they actually might force folk to pay the money back as they've already had wiped out.
Yeah, yeah, it's a concern in a lot of ways because, you know, long ago and not so long ago and not so far away, there were some forgiveness programs that were in place. And so one of the things that I would be wary of and pay attention to is whether the things that were in place even prior to Biden, there's always been this, public service related student loan forgiveness. There's always been some relief for people that have paid maybe for 20, 30 years. The question becomes whether we're going to be even worse off in terms of things going away that Biden didn't even bring along, that were here prior to Biden, that there was a general agreement that we wanted to reward public service for teachers, for firefighters, and some things like that. So there's a lot of areas in which Biden is another way in which he's been super helpful, giving people an opportunity that they didn't have. You go back to the Reagan era, and basically this whole thing that happened with student loans back when public college was pretty much free everywhere, and how it started to change things, and how it really created even an educated underclass, as it were. And so, the thing that I'm always concerned about is whether we actually get what we deserve once and for all. We've been covered in grace. We've, stumbled and bumbled and wrecked and made mistakes and still kind of found our way because you had Martin Kings and you had other people like this to stand in the gap, sometimes literally give their lives to remind us of where we ought to be from a moral compass standpoint. And the question becomes, with this particular thing, with this particular election, will the grace run out? And you're starting to see areas in which you're already having, imagine being a service member right now, and your check is in jeopardy because of this whole shutdown thing. Elon Musk is calling shots, and his guy's not even president yet. And so you would imagine that this would only get worse, so much so that even when Speaker Johnson is on the right side of an issue. Hello, I can't believe I'm on the right side, same side with him, and it gets thwarted. So it's going to be an interesting thing because you're going to have some very, very rich people that don't care about very, very poor people or very, very regular people making some decisions that affect those very, very poor people and very, very regular people.
Absolutely so. I'm just saying y'all might want to buckle up. All right, folks, let me go to a break. We come back. The drama continues on Capitol Hill. Republicans are scurrying, trying to come up with a bill to keep the government open after Elon Musk, President-elect Elon Musk, and his lackey, Donald Trump, told Republicans to vote it down. Well, let's see what they come up with now. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure, and help shape the future of social media. Investing in technology is essential for creating long-term wealth and influence in the digital age. The Black community must not only consume tech, we must own it.
Discover how equity crowdfunding can serve as a powerful tool for funding Black businesses, allowing entrepreneurs to raise capital directly through their community through the Jobs Act.
On the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, are you working hard and yet your performance doesn't reflect your paycheck? On the next Get Wealthy, you're going to learn some savvy career moves so that all your efforts actually show up in your bank account. Joining us is the founder of a career network, and she's going to share the 3 R's of accelerating your financial growth.
Here's a tip as well. If you are an individual contributor and you desire to be a leader, do the work where you are now. Because if you do the work where you are now, when you do reach the level, you'll be prepared to stay there.
Right here on Get Wealthy, only on Black Star Network.
How you doing? My name is Mark Curry, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Deep into it, like pasteurized milk without the 2%. We getting deep. You want to turn that shit off? We doing an interview, motherfucker.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered. Lots I want to talk about, but this story here just popped up that I definitely want to speak to, and that is American Airlines. They have settled a lawsuit. Y'all might remember the story. We talked about it in May. 3 Black men were on a plane, and they were told that, ooh, you have body odor. And that was from a flight attendant. And so, again, they said they were moved. A white flight attendant complained about the unidentified passenger's body odor. And it says the planes were not responsible for any odor, were not seated together, and did not know each other before the incident. And then now several employees were put on leave as a result of this. The CEO called the incident unacceptable. The story says the employees responsible for the incident have since reportedly been terminated from the company. And of course, American Airlines also announced in this story that they're going to take further action to prevent discrimination in the future. Now, Matt, this is not the first time American Airlines in the last several years has had to deal with the issue of discrimination on the planes. Tamika Mallory, again, there was an incident where she highly criticized them. They came to the NAACP convention in 2018, apologizing to and working with the NAACP, and well, we'll see how that went. But they continue to have these problems. But what's crazy is the three brothers didn't even know each other. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, funky, y'all gotta go.
That's what really made no sense to me. I mean, frankly, there's not many facts at all in this article. So I can't really figure out what happened. I mean, I would imagine, obviously, there was some meat on that bone because American Airlines thought it was appropriate to settle this, and not just because it's a bad PR hit, but there obviously must have been some substance to these brothers' complaint. But I really do not understand this. I don't understand how the attendant even correlated the three of them having had this alleged body odor, and how all three of them would have had it if they're seated in different parts of the plane and didn't know each other. I mean, that lends credence to the idea that he or she was just discriminating against them, but it's just very strange. So without knowing more, I can't understand.
Well, wait, here's a previous story. Again, there were 3 black passengers who sued. The men said they did not know each other, and they were seated separately while waiting for the plane to depart for New York. The 3 said they were among 8 passengers. All the black men on the flight, they said, who were told to leave the plane, Joe, because a white male flight attendant complained about an unidentified passenger's body odor. The men said they demanded an explanation for the removal during a confrontation with airline personnel in the jet bridge. At least one of the men recorded the discussion, capturing an airline employee seeming to agree that the men were discriminated against, according to their lawsuit.
Right, and that comes in as an admission. So, I'm right there with Matt. It's amazing how we get to this place where you know that this is a smoking gun case, right? How is it that you coincidentally end up getting rid of black men on the flight, and it's 8 of them, and you get rid of all of them, and they sitting in different places, and you got the same complaint about all of them? You know good and well something in the milk ain't white. You know good and well that it's a problem. And so it's amazing that American would really allow this to happen. And this lets you know what we're still dealing with. Here's a flight attendant, and no disrespect to being a flight attendant, but why would these guys allow, if not for any other reasons than their own liability? The flight attendant's not paying out of his pocket. Why on earth would you allow a flight attendant to put you in all of this bad PR and put you in this situation, which you've been in before? So it's an unforced error. It's like walking into a buzzsaw. And once again, this reminds you of what we are dealing with and what we can still deal with when we get on planes, when we're in certain situations, when we are just minding our business and doing what it is that we're supposed to do. We ironically and coincidentally got looped together. The simple facts of this case would get past a dispositive motion. I forget if it was in federal court or whatever, it'd be a motion to dismiss. But it's just amazing that here we are again. And so, this is not happening in a vacuum. This is not happening. Cursed causes shall not come. There's a reason that this is happening, and it's continuing to happen. And what's got to happen is that corporations, the American Airlines of the world, have to make sure they take it upon themselves to, if not for any other reason, that it's bad for business to quit looking irresponsible as it pertains to things that are going to smell, look, and taste like discrimination.
Here's what's crazy, Kelly. Go back to my iPad. American offered, first of all, the men were taken off of the plane. They waited an hour. American offered to rebook them, but there were no other available flights to New York that evening, so they were allowed to reboard.
Racism has always been stupid. It has always been stupid. There has never been true logic behind racism. So the fact that this article is depicting illogical actions is not surprising to me. What is surprising to me, and I'm going to say it, is that you thought 5 black men were stinky on a plane. Miss Color Redacted Flight Attendant person.
No, it was a white male flight attendant.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Color Redacted Flight Attendant person. Not when we have clear people on record not washing their legs, okay? Not when we have on record people just discovering what a washcloth is, and it's not people who look like me, okay? We have a whole campaign on whole body deodorant because y'all don't know what soap is, and you thought 5 black men on a plane stank? Get out my face. Stop playing with me. No.
Can I say a few things, Roland?
Sure.
Here's the thing that you got to lead with next time, brother. I didn't know all 8 people taking off the plane were brothers. Let's talk about a basic DEI approach. You want to talk about DEI? Somebody on that plane should have been like, you are crazy. If you put all 8 of these black men off these planes, you're about to get sued. I don't understand how you let that happen, especially with something as difficult to ascertain as, alleged body odor. This is like Joe said perfectly. It's an unforced error. I don't understand how that happens. And jokes aside, it is an absurd idea that 8 people are put off the plane. What I'm surprised by is that all 8 of them didn't sue. Because if you had walked into my office with this, I'm like, we're filing a lawsuit every day of the week. This is just too absurd not to file over. Mm-hmm. They put 8 people off the plane. All of them are black men. That's crazy. I mean, that's like an indefensible position, and I don't understand how they allowed that to happen. And that is a consequence of not having people who have a modicum of sense who said, please don't put all 8 of these brothers off this plane because we finna write a check. And that's exactly what happened.
It's absolutely crazy to me. And so I say those brothers get paid. And this is also what I say to people. If y'all encounter this kind of racism, don't show your ass. Don't act a fool. Nope. Just sit here, pull this out, and we're going to record everything, and then y'all going to pay up when we go back home because you're going to get hit with a lawsuit. So American Airlines has not identified how many employees were involved. They have not confirmed if the employees were terminated. But clearly more drama for American Airlines. And so y'all need to get y'all stuff together. All right, y'all. Gonna go to break. We're gonna come back. Speaking of get yourself together, the Republicans in Congress are beyond stupid. There was agreement. Then Elon Musk got mad. Donald Trump got mad. Don't vote for that. 38 Republicans did not vote for it. Now they're trying to come up with another solution. And Democrats are like, holla at me when y'all got something. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Folks, don't forget, download the Black Star Network app. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. You can also, of course, get our merchandise. And so if y'all want to get our new shirt, don't blame me. I voted for the black woman. You can get that by going to rolandmartin.creator-spring.com. rolandmartin.creator-spring.com. I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free-to-download, free-to-use, next-generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you helped build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.
Coming soon to the Black Star Network.
I was challenged by my uncle early on, before I even had a career. Like, I was maybe 8 years old, and my uncle said, "What do you want to do?" And I told him I wanted to be a rapper. And he said, "Okay, well, I don't know anything about the music business, so what you should do is learn everything there is to know about the music business, and I'll make sure that you have the resources to push you through." And so I went and bought books, All You Need to Know About the Music Business, hit me in. I just went and bought a bunch of books and just started reading as a 10-year-old, just reading. And so I learned, all things licensing, mechanical rights. I learned about publishing, learned about how composition is broke up into two pieces, the writer's portion and the producer's portion. But by the time I actually learned, I came back and I was ready to okay, I got it. He was going to prison. So I had all this information.
All this knowledge.
All this knowledge.
You like, well, what am I supposed to do with it now?
I'm Russell L. Honoré, Lieutenant General, United States Army, retired, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, Democrats saved the ass of House Speaker Mike Johnson. Moments ago, the House passed a stopgap funding bill. The vote was 366 to 34. They stripped out several provisions that were demanded by Donald Trump. This doesn't get done if Democrats don't vote for it. Again, it was 366 to 34. I'm going to want to find out who actually voted against that bill. Let's go to our panel. I'll start with you, Kelly. I mean, here's the whole thing here, Kelly, and it's real simple, and that is this can't get done without Democrats. They understood what was at stake: federal employees, a number of military workers, all kinds of different people, and we might as well get ready. You're going to see the absolute chaos of you're going to see the chaos of Republicans. It's going to happen. You're going to see lots of that happen in this country. And so, guess what? Just prepare for it, because we're going to see lots of stuck on stupid.
Not just stuck on stupid, Roland. For me, when I first tried to process this story, it was like, oh shit, we're in an oligarchy now, right? Because a non-government official was able to tell a block of government officials to basically not do their jobs for some money, right? And the level of just what the hell is just staggering to me. And I was watching on C-SPAN some of the clips of congressmen just all but cussing their colleagues out on the floor, because it's absolutely ridiculous, the fact that you have a foreign oligarch really telling you what to do so that you can have some money for your campaign coffers come 26. And if you think that this is not going to happen again, if you feel like your soul is going to be intact after all of this, you got another thing coming, right? It's unfortunate that it's going to be at the expense of the American people, specifically the American people that voted for this man to allow all of this to happen, right? And like we said on election night, at the end of everything, is like, for the next 4 years, we're going to be saying, we tried to tell you. And this is just one more iteration of that.
You know, and the thing that we got to understand that that we're seeing here is the Republic. Look, you got hardcore so-called fiscal conservatives, and I love all of these people, Joe, who keep saying, well, you know, blame the Democrats. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump trying to blame the Democrats. It's kind of like, no, this is on you. And then also, I love this here. I saw all these people, they were like, where's President Biden? Where's President Biden? And the White House is like, this on y'all. This ain't nothing to do with us. Like, this on y'all. Speaker of the House, that's your job. Your job, you had a deal. Don't come to us trying to save your ass. No, and I'm with them. If I was Biden, I'd be like, hey, don't holler at me. You the speaker. This is go do your job. Because you scared you about to lose your job.
Yeah, he was waiting at his desk for the bill that was supposed to be coming up to him, the one that was agreed to, actually. That's what Joe Biden was doing. He was just laying back in the cut. Now, meanwhile, back at the ranch, you know, you got Elon and you got Donald Trump making calls, and they aren't even in Washington yet. And so now, and you know, the thing that Trump actually wanted to do, actually to the ire of some Republicans, some of his own, was to explode to lift the debt ceiling for years, so he didn't have to deal with it, because he's going to blow up the debt just like he did when he was in office before. Welcome to the chaos. This is where it is. If they couldn't govern whatever they had 8 years ago, how are they going to do it with a 2 to 5 vote majority? It's not going to be any easier. They don't have a mandate. There are almost as many Democrats as Republicans. Now they're going to do some things, they're going to do some things per reconciliation so that they can get past the 60 vote threshold, so there doesn't have to be a filibuster issue in the Senate as it pertains to some budget related things. They're going to do that when and where they can. They can get a Supreme Court thing passed without getting to the 60. They blew that up several years ago. But they are going to bump into themselves all the time, just like they did before. And it's going to continue because, among other things, we've got vulnerable Republicans, too, who won in swing districts, who are back up for election in 2 years. And they're going to be in trouble, ones that won in Democratic districts, and things like that. So welcome to the chaos. This is already happening, but they're supposed to be in charge and everything that came with it. But you guys are talking against each other. So where's the mandate if you guys don't agree with each other?
Well, I'm laughing because now, Matt, you got Rand Paul of Kentucky and saying, I'm not going to allow this to move forward. All right, player, do you?
Yeah, do whatever you want, Rand. I'll say this. You know, it's interesting that Kelly said we now have an oligarchy, and I agree with you, Kelly, but we've always had an oligarchy. But I thought this was incredibly interesting when I heard this, because this, to me, sits directly counter with who Donald Trump tries to sell himself as, right? I mean, it's just now very clear that the kingmaker, Musk, with his $170 million or whatever it was he paid to his campaign, I think that's the last number I heard, is now just openly saying, defy, do what we tell you to do, essentially. And I think that that's hugely problematic, one, for Trump. I mean, if you want to exude that you're the most powerful person in the government, and then you have a private citizen telling you what to do, that obviously undercuts your power. But more than that, I find this to be the most offensive exercise that we as citizens have to see happen, just the politicization of the basic running of the government. It frustrates me to no end, because imagine if any one of us went to our jobs and said, we don't agree with the politics, so we're not going to do the basic function of our jobs that all these millions of people are relying on us to do. That's just absurd that, it comes to this gridlock and this happens, and we have to hear all the political sound bites, but we as Americans don't come together and say, we will not allow you to not do your jobs. And moreover, we will not allow you to amend to this bill a raise for yourselves when you are openly not doing your jobs. I mean, that's just a huge issue to me. And I don't know how we continue to let this happen without there being something else we can do to right that balance.
Well, I love this one here. Donald Trump has such an attitude. He posted this on his trash Truth Social. If Republicans try to pass a clean, continuing resolution without all the Democratic bells and whistles that will be so destructive to our country, all it will do after January 20th is bring the mess of the debt limit into the Trump administration rather than allowing it to take place in the Biden administration. Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried. Everything should be done and fully negotiated prior to my taking office on January 20th, 2025. Well, guess what? 170 Republicans voted for it. So I would love to see Elon Musk try to spend his money primarying 170 Republicans. Let's see how well that ends. I don't think it's going to end so well. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, going to go to a break. Come back. Breaking news out of Missouri. The white Republican governor pardons a white cop who brutally murdered a black man. He was convicted by a jury. But the governor said, oh, no, he should be home for Christmas. Yeah, we're going to discuss this lynching next on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure.
And I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes it's just downright exhausting. Surviving the holiday season, we've got tips for you for staying sane, solvent, striving, and thriving, and sometimes keeping a little money in your pocket.
2 things just out of the gate: set boundaries and set a budget.
On A Balanced Life, right here on Black Star Network with me, Dr. Jackie.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Cyrus, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me working with Roland. Matter of fact, it's the Roland Martin and Cheryl Underwood Show. Well, should it be the Cheryl Underwood Show and the Roland Martin Show? Well, whatever show it's going to be good.
All right, so Luigi Mangione gets perp walked in New York City, and my goodness, why was New York City Mayor Eric Adams there? So he gave an interview, and this is literally what he said. Y'all, listen to this nonsense.
Of the day, and that is Luigi Mangione arriving back here in New York. First and foremost, why did you feel the need to go to the heliport and actually greet him once he got off that helicopter?
So I was at a conference a few days ago with the top CEOs, IBM, Deloitte. It was a room full of CEOs and governmental officials. And the shooting, the intentional shooting, and the response after really traumatized the entire industry. Not only the CEOs, but the employees. People forget that. And I wanted to send a strong message with the police commissioner that we're leading from the front. I'm not going to just allow him to come into our city. I wanted to look him in the eye and stated that you carried out this terrorist act in my city, the city that the people of New York love, and I wanted to be there to show the symbolism of that.
And shortly after that,
I'm sorry. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. The mayor, just go ahead and say, all of the cameras were going to be there, and I wanted to be on TV looking like a tough guy as we perp walked him in front of the world. This is the video, y'all. So this is the perp walk. That's all a perp walk is. So you got all these cops walking slow, surrounding him. You got the man in front with the gun. You got Eric Adams standing back there. I wanted to look him in the eye. Y'all, this is so bullshit. They could have literally picked his ass up in a Suburban, put him in the car. No, we got, oh, look at this. Let's just walk real slow with the dude in the orange, because I was at a conference and I wanted the folk know, you know, we tough here in New York, and I wanted everybody to see, that's right, I wanted to look him in his eye to see what he did in my city. Get that fake-ass bravado out of here, Kelly.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say, man. Like, Eric Adams is hands down the weirdest mayor I have ever experienced in my lifetime. There are so many things just weird about this man, from his campaign video about where to find drugs all them years ago to how he says the same taglines every single press conference. He's just weird. And then the way that he conducts his corruption is incredibly dumb. It's cartoon-like. So this tracks, right? The perp, like, you didn't look anybody in the eye, sir. You were behind him. You were behind him. You saw the back of his head. Just say that you thought the man was pretty and keep going. Just say that you liked being in front of a camera and keep going. You know, stop being weird. Just stop being weird.
So, I mean, here's my thing, Matt. Okay, Mayor Adams, there have been other brutal killings in New York City. Did you show up for those perp walks?
He didn't. But the thing I actually don't understand more than all of that is Eric Adams, chief advisor, just got indicted the other day, right? He's under suspicion himself. He's under investigation. And I get it. He is the mayor of the largest city in the country. So it's inevitable that he can't avoid cameras by some circumstances. But to me, it seems like what you should be doing is trying to avoid the limelight. And I know, again, that's very difficult, but it's strange because it's obviously, sits counter to what you yourself are dealing with, an accusation from the feds of corruption. So, maybe some of this is trying to save his image, but it's weird. I mean, it's very strange, especially, and it's also strange to me in general, when you have this overwhelming a police force. You see this happen often when you have somebody who's accused of a major offense, wherever it is, and they'll have like 12 cops surrounding them, and there's like 1% of people who really need that, right? Who are really that much of a security risk in that exact instance. And this is just for show. This is, I think, more pomp and circumstance, if you will, than anything. But as to Mayor Adams, I don't understand why his team would have him in the forefront of something like this, because inevitably the backlash is going to be exactly this and exactly what I'm saying. Like, you yourself are on the chopping block. It doesn't seem like right now is the time to try to be in front of a camera.
I mean, it's just trash. I mean, Joe, this whole, I want to look him in the eye, and you don't come into my city, and you don't do things like this. I'm the mayor of this city.
Well, to Matt's point, Mayor Adams has some problems of his own, to be sure. And here's the other thing, that long walk, sometimes they don't do those types of walks because, the defense attorneys may say that that's prejudicial. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, one of the things that's interesting about this is that because of what this guy did and because of who he is, he comes from money, easy on the eyes to them, white guy, etc. He's a little bit of a folk hero. So literally that walk for some, whether you think it's right or wrong, that walk with him walking and all of these people surrounding him was symbolic of a system that screws the little guy. And that, and he, to a lot of people, he doesn't even look like a criminal. And so it actually played into this counter narrative. And even though I think they'll get him, they're going to go get some very formidable defense attorneys. They're going to make them pick a pony. There is an argument that they're double charging them, with the federal and the state stuff in New York, because on federal side, you can get the death penalty. In New York, you can't. They're going to make them pick a pony on that. But what it's going to do, I believe that this defendant will be successful in starting or restarting and igniting this discussion about healthcare. It's a heck of a way to do it. It's not the way I'd have done it. I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it. I'm not saying that he should have done it. I'm not saying that it's justifiable, okay? He belongs in jail, but not everybody believes that he belongs in jail. But even though there are no excuses for it happening, to his mind and to a lot of people's minds, there are reasons, and you're going to have to deal with the reasons.
I just get just the bullshit. Here's the deal. I got more respect if you say, yeah, man, I showed up because I want to be on TV. I got more respect if you just go ahead and be honest. But this old fake tough guy, that's right. I was at a conference and all these CEOs, they were upset. I'm just one to let. I mean, come on, dude, just stop it. I mean, it is just this again. You can't come into my city and do this. Okay, what about the other brutal murders in your city? Is Eric Adams now saying, I'm going to be on TV at every perp walk? Let us know, but this is just trifling. Speaking of trifling, did y'all see one of his top aides turn herself in? This is just, okay, first of all, here's why this story bothers me so much. It bothers me. So, a top aide of Eric Adams, okay? This is a photo of her, Ingrid Lewis Martin. Hold on one second, I'm pulled up. Ingrid Lewis Martin, longtime aide to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, okay? All right, a sister. She was charged, conspiracy, bribery, and money laundering, okay? In the indictment, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg says she gave special treatment to a couple of real estate developers when their construction projects ran into hurdles, okay? In exchange for help, check this out. They gave Lewis Martin and her son $100,000 in checks and cash, which her son, who's a DJ, used to purchase a Porsche. Now, it wasn't just her. They also helped her son with setting up a Chick-fil-A, okay? And the story says she anticipated assistance from one of the builders for her son's fashion business. Now, Lewis Martin, her son, Glenn Martin II, two developers were also charged. All four pled not guilty at an arraignment on Thursday. They pled not guilty. Okay? All right, so Here's what I've always said. You gonna risk going to jail for some small shit? Like, it drives me. A lot of times you see these stories, and unfortunately it involves a lot of black politicians or whatever. Man, you see some of these stories, and they get arrested, and they talking about free plane tickets, you know, tickets to the Super Bowl, some hotel rooms, and some stuff like that. You took some money for a car loan, a Porsche. Man, I don't, just dumb. Now remember, this is also the same person. She flew back from somewhere. Man, they met her at the gate, Matt, with some plastic bags saying, turn on your cell phone. Turn on your cell phone. And she resigned from the mayor's office on Sunday night, I believe, anticipating getting indicted and arrested this week. But this is just crazy. I mean, it's my whole deal. If y'all gonna go out there and get arrested for some stuff, I mean, don't take 4, 5, 6, 7 million. I mean, at least do it up big.
Yeah, don't do that. Absolutely don't follow that advice. But I get what you mean. Yeah, really.
No, if you gonna do it, what I'm saying is, if you gonna do it, go big.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I just want to be exceedingly clear. Do not do that, okay? Because you might not can afford me. But jokes aside, here's the thing I don't understand.
If they go big, they can afford you.
Maybe. I don't know if I want that cash. But in any event, the thing I don't understand with this is how people don't think they're going to get caught. You know, you think about Patrick Cannon years ago. I think he was in North Carolina. He was literally telling people brazenly, you want this city contract? It's going to cost you $50,000. And what's so surprising to me still is in this day and age, with the ubiquity of cell phones and recording devices and all of that kind of stuff, that people just continue to, like Kelly said earlier, be very dumb about how they're doing straight up criminal actions. And also the thing here that goes to my earlier point about Adams is almost invariably the top aide in any organization has the most information about the person at the top, right? Because they're their right hand. They're the person through whom most things are filtered. And I'll tell you, I have been the top aide in the DA's office, and I was not only concerned for my boss, but I was concerned for myself 100% of the time, right? Because a lot of times people view you as the entree to the boss and or the person who's going to make a lot of the consequential decisions for the office and the agency. So I say all of that to say, I'm sure we're going to find out pretty soon that if she was taking $300,000 and giving her son, you know, some, or he was receiving some for a Porsche, unfortunately, there's a good likelihood, at least in my professional experience, that Adams is going to have, you know, proverbial unclean hands. And it seems very strange to me that you would be the mayor of New York or the top advisor for the mayor of New York and accepting gifts as brazenly as they are here. But see, also, Bob Menendez was taking gold bars. You know, they found jackets with money in his house. So I guess sometimes I presume people are going to take the smarter course, and they don't, even if they're in the United States Senate or City Hall at New York City.
I mean, gold bars is pretty big, though. That's going big. That's
no. Menendez went big, because you got to remember, he got off like twice. So, right. I mean, he went big. He went big. I find this one. Kelly, the son, Glenn D. Martin II, a.k.a. Suave Luciano.
Okay, gotcha. Brother named Suave Luciano? Okay, gotcha. No problem.
Here's the first thing. If you nickname yourself after a notorious gangster, everybody know Luciano is Lucky Luciano, who headed up the mafia. You asking for your ass to get followed.
I mean, I just want to be clear that this is no relation to you, Roland Martin.
Hell no. And if they were related to me, I would say y'all dumb as hell because y'all went low.
I mean, you got to be thinking big. You got to think big, right? I mean, I am just thoroughly and consistently amused by what is happening under the Eric Adams administration right now, because from him going on a perp walk with a perp to his aides about to be on a perp walk, it's like the jokes write themselves, right? And it's interesting. I mean, the irony of his name indicating that he's smooth, and there's nothing smooth about this. There's absolutely nothing smooth about getting caught for a loan. Like, are you so broke that you couldn't get just the cash at all? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. People are just doing dumb shit right now. I have no idea why. Hopefully we are not going to be in an era of dumb shit. Hopefully it stops with 2025, if one can hope. But yeah, that's all I got. People just be doing dumb shit.
The indictment, Joe, says that the son was operating as the intermediary between his mom and the defendants to communicate with, schedule, and arrange meetings with and receive payment and other benefits. Rezada Vod, a.k.a. Pinky.
Suave and Pinky.
We got Suave.
No brain.
Suave and Pinky.
But no brain. There's no brain. Not Pinky and the brain, just Pinky.
Nicely done, Kelly. Very chef's kiss. Nice.
Thank you.
It's the simple things that get people. You know what I mean? My thing is this.
I just love it. It was also part of this conspiracy for Rezada Vade, a.k.a. Pinky, to solicit assistance from Ingrid Lewis Martin with a visa issue for a family member. It was also part of this conspiracy for Rezada Vade, a.k.a. Pinky, to solicit assistance from Ingrid Lewis Martin and Glenn D. Martin II, a.k.a. Suave, a.k.a. Suave Luciano. Okay, I just think reading the indictment is fun as hell. I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Well, I'm just waiting for the rap album. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting on the mixtape. Because Suave Luciano, he has to have a crew, right? But often it's the simple things that get folks. These complicated folks that got education, they've done all these important, amazing things. And ultimately, it's just greed. Now, me, maybe I'm just a little, conservative, for lack of a better term. Me, if I'm going to do something like that, Roland, I don't think I'd even go big like that. You know what I do? I get a Toyota. I get a Toyota Camry. It runs forever, okay? I'll still feel like I got away with something because I didn't really pay for it or somebody gave me the money for it. And I don't draw a bunch of attention to myself. Suave, they know that you ain't got no money for a Porsche. They know it, okay? So what you really needed to do was lay it back in the cut. Why is your family member the mediator? Why did it be somebody else that doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you, from another part of the country, from Trenton, New Jersey? Something, mix it up. It is entirely too easy. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, as Matt alluded to, this is like a tube of Aquafresh. I remember Aquafresh toothpaste, and they squeezing it and trying to get everything to the top. They going for Eric, man. They're going for Eric. I had never heard of this woman, even though she's prominent in politics. And once this is done, I probably never hear from her again. But I do know about Eric Adams, and that's who they know about. And I give you 10-1. That's who they're trying to squeeze.
And that's why he been doing the Trump dance, because he wants that pardon.
I just want the FBI to know I'm not doing anything. I won't even tell you how I would do it because I wouldn't do it. I want to be very clear about it. Okay? You know what Joe said? That's a theoretical for him. I ain't doing it. And the other thing is, I guarantee you they got a bunch of deleted text messages on those phones. You know how easy it is to get deleted text messages off a phone? I guarantee when that stuff comes out and hits the public, it's going to be a bunch of deleted messages that they thought they were going to get away with it because it was deleted, and they got it on that phone when they picked her up at the airport, or picked it up at the airport.
Well, I see right here. It was also part of the conspiracy to communicate with each other and using encrypted messaging applications over cell phones. And they also talked in here. So you see, in furtherance of said conspiracy, what does you see right here? They met, it says Gracie Mansion, then all of a sudden, Rezada Vod, a.k.a. Pinky, sent a series of WhatsApp messages to Ingrid Lewis Martin asking for her help to expedite a visa for a family member, stating this exactly needs to be pushed to get immediate appointment. Again, Ingrid Martin sent a WhatsApp back. Again, more WhatsApp and more text messages and more text messages and more WhatsApp and all this sort of stuff. Also, y'all do me a favor. Stop using WhatsApp. Use Signal. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You still giving them tips.
No. Stop. See? No, y'all don't understand. This is not me. The FBI, we did the story a week ago. The FBI, all the Chinese are in these telecoms. And the FBI, matter of fact, the FBI issued a story saying use encrypted apps. Then this week, they actually dropped another story. Hold on one second. Because I was going to talk about this here, but let me go ahead. No, seriously, I'm serious. FBI and...
FBI is like, we are bored. Give us a challenge.
No, I'm serious. I'm being dead serious. The FBI...
You Signal, don't use WhatsApp. What you doing?
No, I'm saying because Signal is actually better than WhatsApp. WhatsApp sucks.
It is.
See?
Roland's like, now, if y'all gonna do it, I just want y'all to know.
If y'all gonna do it,
on this one.
If you're gonna do it, use.
Watching us, listen,
if you're gonna do it, don't use the cheap encrypted app.
Listen,
Joe
FBI
talking
came and saw me about 6 months ago.
Kelly, I'm a lie. Kelly, doesn't WhatsApp suck?
Don't put me in your crime.
First of all, Kelly, hold up, Kelly, you already busted because Kelly, 30 seconds ago you had, I agree.
I want y'all to know.
30 seconds ago, I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, y'all.
To be in your crime.
So y'all, here's the story that the FBI dropped this week. They warn mobile users to be cautious about two-factor verification. So, because the Chinese because these hackers are completely in these telecom companies, so a lot of people use two-factor identification. So we did the story last week. It's almost got 1 million views on our YouTube channel, where the FBI said to people, don't text sensitive information. That you should be using encrypted apps. Now they're saying don't even do two-factor authentication because they can see it. Now, since y'all think I'm crazy, right here. Earlier this month, the FBI urged cell phone users to use encrypted messaging apps like Signal or WhatsApp to ensure their communications stay hidden from an alleged Chinese cyber attack. See, y'all sitting here trying to blame me, and the FBI said use Signal WhatsApp. So all I'm doing is just telling them what the FBI said to use.
Listen, I appreciate you saying.
So how y'all mad at me?
I'm not mad, but we get thrown into stuff. We get thrown into stuff all the time, whether we meant to or not. So I appreciate the clarification, but I don't.
It says it right here. Officials with the FBI and cybersecurity infrastructure security agency are urging Americans to use encrypted messaging apps to ensure their communications stay hidden from an alleged Chinese cyber attack. Salt Typhoon, a Chinese government-linked hacking group, has conducted one of the largest intelligence breaches in U.S. history, and it has not yet been fully remediated. So I'm just telling y'all, I'm just been the newsman. The FBI has said use Signal and WhatsApp. I'm just telling y'all WhatsApp sucks, so I advise y'all to use Signal. And if y'all don't want to, if y'all don't want to use Signal, there's another encrypted app called Wire. I'm just trying to tell y'all, but go ahead, Joe.
See, I just didn't want anything to get confused. Like, just in case the FBI watching, I want y'all to know, I'm like Robert De Niro on Casino. I want to run a square joint, and we just gonna be going straight arrows, okay? I had true story. I had FBI visit me about 6 months ago about a former client. scared me to death. I didn't sleep for a week. You know what I mean? And so I just don't want to be misunderstood. That's all. Everything you said is correct, Roland. I'm right there with you, and I appreciate that context. And that'll help me a little bit keep my blood pressure down if you put that context in the front, because, you know, really it's getting ready to be the Trump era and everything else too. Listen, they weaponizing the government. We just want to be okay. That's all we saying. We know that it can
You
flip in
literally
a
got
second.
3 lawyers on your panel right now.
Hey, I'm just trying to tell you.
3 lawyers on your panel
Right here.
now.
Right here, officials on a news call Tuesday refused to set a timetable for declaring the country's telecommunications systems free of interlopers. Officials had told NBC News that China hacked AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen Technologies to spy on customers. So I'm just telling y'all, I'm passing y'all the news. See, y'all weren't even aware that the FBI told people to use encrypted apps. Were y'all?
Because plausible deniability is a thing, and you are taking it away from us.
I'm going to ask each one of y'all individually. Joe, were you aware of this story? Yes or no?
I was, because
yes
I
or
had
no?
somebody at AT&T.
Okay, so the answer is yes. Kelly,
sort of, yeah.
Kelly, were you aware of this story?
I was trying to preserve my plausible deniability, but
It's either yes or no.
No, on purpose.
Matt, were you aware of this story?
Not guilty. Y'all got to feel me. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying. Y'all see, this is why y'all need to be watching this show, so y'all can be up to date on technology. So last week, again, the FBI said use Signal WhatsApp. This week, they said don't do that two-factor authentication with text message, because the Chinese Salt Typhoon's still looking at your stuff. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to help y'all out.
We just don't want any misunderstanding.
Can we go to break? I'm very nervous right now.
I ain't nervous. See, when you ain't,
I need a GoFundMe for bail.
When you ain't done nothing, ain't no need to be nervous.
Oh, faithful words of many of my clients.
Okay.
Come on,
Famous
man.
last
Not
words,
guilty,
right?
bro. Look. No.
I'm just saying. But if you're gonna sit here and communicate bribery, I'm just saying you need to use Signal, and you need to be using disappearing messages, and you need to make sure the person on the other end got theirs set too. See, that's how these fools. I'm gonna tell you what these fools did. They were sitting there communicating. They didn't have nothing disappearing turned on. They were just sitting there chatting back and forth. They ain't realize. They ain't realize.
If you're gonna do it, you know.
They ain't even realize. They ain't realize none of that.
Discussion.
See?
Right.
They just dumb. And that's how your ass get indicted. All right. Just saying. It's in the indictment. Text message, WhatsApp, text message, WhatsApp, text message, WhatsApp. You didn't see the indictment say Signal. Y'all might want to use Signal. All right.
CIA's on my phone right now.
You download Signal right now. That's what you're doing. All right. When we come back, this ridiculous case out of Missouri. White Republican governor pardons a white cop who was found guilty of murdering a black man. Yeah. Plus, rapper Young Dro, I sat out with him at Hope Global Forums, talking about his battle with drug abuse, rehab. It's a fascinating conversation. You don't want to miss it. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. Download Signal.
Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free-to-download, free-to-use, next-generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you help build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early-stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.
on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Brown versus the Board of Education. The history books call it the court decision that ended racial segregation in American schools. But a brand new book, Jim Crow's Pink Slip, uncovers a devastating unintended consequence of that 1954 Supreme Court decision.
We may, if we were lucky, have been the very last generation of Black students to have experienced these generations of Black teachers who have never been replaced.
Dr. Leslie Fenwick joins us to talk about her book and the actions following that landmark decision that dealt a virtual death blow to Black educators. That's next on The Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
This is Reggie Rock Byford. You're watching
Roland Martin, unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and undamn believable. You hear me?
All right, y'all, some breaking news out of Missouri. This is a shameful and despicable story. Go to the Kansas City, go to my iPad, Anthony. This is from the Kansas City Defender. The governor of Missouri has pardoned a white cop in Kansas City. This was the first time a white cop in history was convicted of killing a Black person. But the governor of Missouri says, I'm sorry. The story says that his sentence has been commuted. So this is what it says. Missouri Governor Mike Parson has reduced the already lenient 6-year sentence of Eric DeValconaire, the white Kansas City Police Department detective convicted of executing Cameron Lamb in his own backyard in December 2019. It does not erase his conviction. It says it ensures the killer cop will walk free after serving a fraction of his sentence. So this story, the Kansas City Defender has been all over this story. It said DeValconaire was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action in November 2021. The judge concluded that DeValconaire had no legal right to be on Lamb's property when he and his partner invaded Lamb's backyard without a warrant, probable cause, or permission. The prosecution's case revealed how DeValconaire recklessly gunned down Lamb, who was simply backing his truck into his own garage. While DeValconaire's defense team tried to justify the killing by claiming Lamb had pointed a gun at his partner, the story fell apart under scrutiny. DeValconaire's own partner gave contradicting testimony that undermined their attempted cover-up. And here you have the governor of Missouri who decides to say, oh, I think it's unfair. And understand, he's been saying for months that he may very well pardon or commute this sentence of this killer cop. And what does it say, Matt? That he gets indicted. He goes to trial. The judge finds him guilty. And the governor, oh no, this is not how we should treat a cop. So I'm gonna slash that 6-year sentence.
It says that some people are above the law, and for some people, politics is bigger than the law. This is exactly what the governor of the state I live in did. I don't prefer to call him my governor, but Greg Abbott with Daniel Perry in Austin. And this was my precise objection, and precisely why I think this is so insidious and frankly indicative of the racist ideology that allows you to do something like this and then not pardon somebody like Marcellus Williams, where you have very clear questions about the evidence, right? Because what you have here is you have 12 people who sat in the box who listened to all of the evidence. So not the sound bites, not the political spins on things. They listened to the evidence from open to close and decided that he was guilty of this offense, and they convicted him. And then he was sentenced to prison. And because the governor sees him as a talisman of the political or even racial ideology, which is likely what it is here, he uses him as a means to say, hey, I'm still here for the people who look like me and the people who I think deserve a break. And that is terrifying, because this is not that example, but there are always examples of self-defense or other bona fide defenses where people never get the benefit of the doubt. But if you happen to be the right color and you happen to get on the governor's radar, then Greg Abbott will say, I'm going to demand the Board of Pardons and Paroles lets this person out of prison, even though Austin, which is, you know, historically very liberal in the context of the state of Texas, 12 people sat in the box and decided to find him guilty. The same is true here. And I don't really think there's a bona fide defense beyond they saw this as a political maneuver and a political maneuver to signal to their people of their ilk, hey, I'm still here protecting, holding the line. And it should be disgusting to you if you're a person who has any belief whatsoever in the rule of law, or at least the rhetoric we hear from people like this governor talking about the rule of law, because it clearly does not apply equally.
Here's what's crazy. This is KMBC.com, Joe. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison in March 2022. He filed appeals and remained out on bond. The Attorney General recommended overturning the conviction or ordering a new trial a year later, citing concerns about the fairness of the proceedings. But here's what's crazy. Appellate courts upheld the conviction in October 2023. The Missouri Supreme Court denied his request for a transfer in March 2024. The DeValconeer's family requested clemency from Parsons' office in late 2023. In September 2024, a federal court ruled that DeValconeer's entry onto Lamb's property was unlawful. These are Republicans in Missouri who are saying, we do not want to see a cop held accountable for his actions.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it would seem to me that if you want to consider yourself pro-law and order, if you want to be in the position to support the police as people define supporting the police, it would seem like when someone does something unseemly, you would cut them away as not in the game. That gives you more credibility in the other issues and the other situations that are arguably more justified. Maybe you actually do have a valid warrant. Maybe you are in a public place that you actually have a right to be in, or there's some gray area and you get some deference because of that. What they don't understand and what they don't really care about is that the fact that they would support him, that the governor would grant clemency in this situation, takes away from all of the other instances that are less questionable, and that where there are problems where the police officer was reasonably in fear for his life or of great bodily harm of him or someone else, and then they acted because of it, and they get some amount of deference. But if it was about that, then they would have done this way. They would have agreed with the appeals court, or known when it was over, agreed with the prosecution. You know, in a conservative state, they were prosecuted successfully, and the appeals court and the Supreme Court supported what it is that the prosecution actually done. But for the governor to go the other way basically reminds you that this is about something else. It's low-hanging fruit to show people and send them a message that you still support these guys no matter what, because you don't value the life that he took away, and because this is consistent with what is in their mind the order of things.
This is where, listen, Kansas City has a black mayor, Quentin Lucas. Look at this statement. The mayor continues to pray for all of those touched by the tragic events surrounding the death of Cameron Lamb. As mayor and Kansas City's only selection as commissioner on the state-appointed 5-member Kansas City Board of Police Commissioners, Mayor Lucas remains committed to strengthening the trust between law enforcement and our community. That's an absolute bullshit ass statement, Kelly. And it's a gutless statement.
No, it really is. We are about to enter an era again of basically police officers being treated like gods. And it is unfortunate that these gods, so to speak, are about to exercise their power on those with the least, those who have been the most disenfranchised. And these very gods will be reinforced. Their power will be reinforced and commended and praised, really, by our government. right? This law and order state, so to speak. It is unfortunate. It is have proof. We have historical proof of how it simply does not work. How people are even more endangered by way of antics like this. So, I mean, this is certainly in the most sincerest way, I say thoughts and prayers.
Shameful and despicable. And what it says is that these conservative Republicans, oh, by the way, the governor is a former sheriff. And what it says is they can't stand when cops are actually held accountable. Let's talk about the Southern District of Mississippi. They've charged former Mississippi State Capitol Police Officer, Flex Unit Officer Jeffrey Walker. He was charged with felony deprivation of rights under color of law. He allegedly used excessive force, including dangerous weapons, against a handcuffed arrestee identified as ES, causing bodily injury on July 27, 2022. Walker was driving an unmarked police car. He initiated a pursuit after ES, who failed to stop during a traffic stop. The chase ended when Walker cut ES off, causing a collision and ES to swerve into a yard. If convicted, Walker faces up to 10 years in prison. Folks, President Biden is expected to secure his 235th judicial confirmation of his presidency, beating the number of judges confirmed in Donald Trump's 4 years. This is huge because this is the highest number of black judges ever appointed, the largest number of black women ever appointed, the most black women appointed to the appellate courts than all previous presidents combined. I will say this here, Joe, for people who are stuck on stupid, and I've seen this crap the last 2 years, who say that this is no big deal. It shows the sheer ignorance of folks. Biden will only serve 4 years as president. That's it. These judges will be there for life. These 235 federal judges, that is very significant. And again, had Vice President Kamala Harris been elected, had folk not sat on their asses at home or voted for Trump, you would see another 230 or 240 federal judges appointed, and not hardcore right-wing conservative, batshit crazy federal judges.
You know, the judicial branch is the area where you can make the most long-term impact. And Joe Biden did an excellent job, not only in terms of the numerosity of judges, but the levels of the judges, the black women that were appointed, and also not just, with no disrespect to, brothers that went to Harvard and did big law, but, public defenders and people that did things other than prosecute. He did an excellent job at that, probably better than the Obama administration did at that. So, and this will have an impact, not being able to do this for the next 4 years, and maybe Trump appoints another 200 judges or so who will, in turn, be there for life. He'll also replace probably the old guys on the Supreme Court, Thomas and Alito, the ones that want to leave, that he can clearly replace. So elections have consequences, and the judiciary is a very, very big part of that. And it is a terrible thing that we're going to miss that, because when you're talking about how the law is interpreted, and it's one thing if they were really honest when they say, oh, we just call balls and strikes. No, they legislate from the bench just like anybody else does. They figure out they're activists when they want to be activists. And they're restrainists when they want to be restrainists. In other words, if they want the government, they want the law to conform to the Constitution, they do. If they want the Constitution to conform to the law, they do. Or what's going on in society, they're going to do it the way that they want to do it, particularly those that are politically motivated and don't believe so much in the rule of law as much as they do in terms of keeping what they believe to be, just like we said before, the order of things.
The diversity of the judges are critically important, Kelly, because Trump, his judges were 88% white men.
Right. And we saw what the ramifications of that is, right? We saw how policy got stagnated, laws got flipped turned upside down. And Biden is doing what he can to preserve the little democracy that we have left in this country that is still actionable, right? Because like you said, judges are lifetime appointments, and they are really going to be the ones, especially in this new era of cronyism, oligarchy. Granted, I understand Matt's point that we've been in that era, but it's really going to come to a head this coming administration. They're going to be the ones who are going to have to stand solid ground. Like judges, ironically enough, who were supposed to be the last line of defense, they are now the infantry, right? And we are going to need as many of those types of soldiers as we can to hold the front line.
Matt, the other thing I think other reason people should be excited when you look at these 235 judges is that he didn't just pull from state judges, didn't pull from prosecutors. A lot of these people were defense lawyers, civil rights lawyers, and they were former defense lawyers, civil rights lawyers. They literally went from civil rights groups right to the federal bench. That's important because it changes the perspective of the people who are federal judges as opposed to traditionally how they are picked.
I agree completely. And, I think it's very important that we have a diverse judiciary for the purpose that representation is important. And a lot of times, obviously, a person's entire background and their entire lived experience is going to inform how they make decisions on the bench. But a lot of times, we get too focused on phenotypical representation and not, ideological, right, or their actual background representation. And Joe alluded to this perfectly. I've been a defense lawyer more so than I was ever a prosecutor, and a lot of people have their opinions on that. But I used to tell people, I'm not just defending my client, I'm defending you and your rights, right? If we have a government that can run roughshod over one person, they can run roughshod over all of us. That's important because when you have a lot of judges, especially in criminal law, that were never anything but a prosecutor, they don't have that understanding of how important it is to really ensure that we're trying to protect people's rights and be who we say we are. So it's incredibly important that you're picking people from not only civil rights groups, but defenders. And if you recall, there was a big issue about with Justice Jackson and about how she'd been a defender before and people denigrating her for that, despite those same people trumpeting the Constitution all the time. So I think it's incredibly important. But what I think we need even more so than that, federal judges, as Kelly alluded to, are lifetime appointments. And the reason that's important is we have a real conflict in the law. So as Joe and Kelly could explain, you know as well, I'm sure, we have to follow precedent, right? What are the prior decisions? How do those decisions inform us? But the thing is, we have a lot of inflection points now in the law where those prior decisions are just patently wrong. So if you think about that brilliant opinion that Judge Reeves wrote in Mississippi several years ago about qualified immunity, he lambasted qualified immunity. But what did he do at the end of the opinion? He ultimately still extended qualified immunity. That's the problem that we have, is that we have people on the bench who know that the outcome is the wrong moral outcome, but they have to follow the legal precedent. And that conflict, I think, is only resolved by judges like Judge Reeves bringing that up and judges like Judge Robert Pittman in the Western District of Texas, who has made a number of rulings that have been directly counter to conservative ideology because he thought, that was the right thing to do. If the judges take those positions, then that's how we actually move the ball forward, particularly when you're not susceptible to being removed from the bench by an election like you are in a lot of state, judicial benches. So I think we need those judges who are unafraid to make those decisions and know that they're going to be overturned, but start signaling that I just cannot abide by this decision that we both know is wrong, but that I'm bound to by stare decisis.
All right. Well, folks, I appreciate all three of y'all been on the show. Thanks very much, Matt, Joe, Kelly. This will be the last show for me with y'all for 2024. I head to vacation on Sunday, so I will see y'all in the new year. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, all that good stuff. Folks, when we come back, Young Dro, we chat about his struggles with sobriety. That's next right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure, and help shape the future of social media. Investing in technology is essential for creating long-term wealth and influence in the digital age. The Black community must not only consume tech, we must own it.
Discover how equity crowdfunding can serve as a powerful tool for funding Black businesses, allowing entrepreneurs to raise capital directly through their community through the Jobs Act.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen shooting.
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate Black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
This is Tamala Mann.
And this is David Mann. And you're watching Roland Martin
Unfiltered.
Folks, while we were in Atlanta last week at the Hope Global Forums, I caught up with rapper Young Dro. He has been very open about his battles over sobriety. We talked about that and how he now is choosing to live the good life. All right, we're here at, of course, Hope Global Forums. Young Dro here. Let me start here.
Yeah.
There are a lot of brothers, forget who in the public space,
right,
who don't want folks in their business, don't want to talk about it, have secrets. We don't talk about family stuff. When Deion Sanders had blood clots,
yeah,
it wasn't until he was hospitalized having surgery when his mom said, "Oh, you know your uncle and so on." So he's like, "Mama, so we got a history of blood clots in our family." Had no idea.
Yeah.
Why was it so important for you to say, I have to share what I've been through, as opposed to, like a lot of brothers, keep it to themselves?
It was important because I started to look at my family and my daughters and my son, right? And awareness about who I am and what I've been through and what kind of person I am allows them to see and assess who they need to be. You know what I mean? Like, we have this information about ourselves that if we don't share it, it repeats itself. So it's very important that I open my life as a book to be read by my children and also people out in the public, so they can be able to see if they're going through something. Like if I did it in front of one of my partners, he'll be able to say, well, you know what, I'm gonna open up to my kids, and it just started to heal families and friends.
See, one of the things that I often, like, if you look at where we are now, brothers are always talking about, man, I hear black girl magazine and the other, but I respond to them that, look, sisters will do a weekend, do something, and it ain't all fun and games. Right. You know, there's going to be those moments. That, you know, I've gone to men's conference. I went to a men's church retreat, and it was like 80% fun and games, 20% real talk. And I was like, you know, a bunch of y'all came here screwed up.
Yeah.
And women paid for y'all to come here screwed up, and you're not dealing with the issues. And I think what often happens, too often in our spaces, we are watch the game, let's play games, let's play cards, let's listen to music, and not put that stuff aside and say, no. We need to have real, frank conversations about what you're dealing with.
Yes. I think the like being masculine and the provider and the toughness, it make you forget about, because you always supposed to handle it. And I think that's how we raised, you know what I mean? Like coming up, I don't remember a time when I was able to show my softer side.
Right.
On, you know how I really
Yo,
feel.
man, that's feminine shit. That's
yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's just being able to talk about what I'm dealing with.
Let's talk about it. You feel me? So I think that, and do you know what though? I respect being raised by my mom and being able to connect with that, but I don't like the fact that outsiders make me feel like I can't be in tune with that side.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I was raised by a woman, and I do know what it feels like to feel the softer side of things and be a little bit, you know.
Well, it's like with photos. I listen, because of what I do. A lot of times is folks like, hey, why don't you take a selfie with my children? I will not take a photo with a young brother who don't smile.
Oh.
Because what happened was, I was noticing every time it was a mugshot. And I said, bruh, you 9. And because what happened, and we as black people, we're not understanding that the idea of, yo, you got to be hard.
Yeah.
I'm not telling a 9-year-old kid. Now, I understand if it's poverty, I understand what's going on. I said, but what does it say when we are literally telling young black boys, yo, you got to be hard. You got to be a man. No, he's 9. And I'm not going to tell a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old to be a man because he ain't a man. And just the photo. And I'll stand there, and one woman's like, he's not gonna smile. I said, we're not gonna be a photo. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. I said, this young brother needs to know it's okay to smile in a photo. There's no harm being brought. And the mother looked at me like I was like, why is this so important? I said, she was like upset. I said, that brother needs to learn how to smile.
I agree. And we need to learn how to cry. It's okay to cry. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, growing up, I could see my uncles, you know what I mean? If I was crying, they'd be like, oh, stop all that crying. You acting like a woo-woo, you feel what I'm saying? And it make you don't want to cry.
Right. And you suppress your feelings. You suppress your hurt.
Now I'm in the street acting like a bat out of hell. You feel me? I'm acting really crazy. I'm acting irate because I done pushed this down in the inside and I can't control it anymore. But I should have just cried and let that out.
When it was so when you were in the Breakfast Club, and I commented on that, so folks. Man. But here's what people didn't understand. So, I'm a member of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah.
And we have a thing called brotherhoods.
Okay.
So we had a reunion, Texas A&M. We go back, and the younger brothers who were organizing, they were like, okay, AK is coming this time, our girlfriends are coming, and they were like, get the food, everything, and the other brothers were like, who coming?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, hell no. All of a sudden, we were like, yo, turn that damn music off. Turn that TV off.
Right.
Tell your girls they ain't coming.
Right.
Tell AK they ain't coming. And the brothers like, we said, y'all need to learn what a brotherhood is. That was like 8 p.m.
Okay.
We didn't leave till 7 a.m.
All night.
And it was, but what we had to show them was, oh, this is what a brotherhood is. This is where you deal with all your shit. This is where, so it went from, brothers were talking about, oh man, no, I couldn't harm somebody, I couldn't kill somebody else. Another brother said, I could. He was in Iraq.
Yeah.
And he said, one of us was gonna go home in a body bag. And it wasn't gonna be me. He said, I said, it was hand-to-hand combat. I killed that Iraqi in my bare hands. So it changed the conversation. At one point later, one brother got saved. So the reason I'm bringing that up, we as older Alpha brothers had to say, no. We got to show y'all what a brotherhood is like. So I think what has to happen is, the reason that the clip resonated, you had to check homeboy behind you to understand this ain't business as usual.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, a lot of older brothers are unwilling to pull a cat. No. This how this gonna go down. No. We ain't doing that anymore. Yeah. We'll let stuff slide, as opposed to, no, I got to show you the way.
Yeah.
Versus, no, I want to be hands off.
I agree. And we in the hood though, or in our culture, we say the young ones are running wild. And I say, granted, because as OGs, as big dogs, as big homies, we got to start calling them on things that don't make sense, or if you out of line. Like, long time ago, my grandmama and them came up on it takes a village, right? Today, I think it still takes a village, because if I'm in the street, like I used to be, I can do something in the street, and the OG will be like, hey, look, come here.
Right.
That ain't what you need to be doing.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And go over here, and if I keep seeing that behavior, this what, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just, not necessarily I'm gonna do something to you, but I can, enough of this guides me the right way. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Breakfast Club incident was enough at that point. You know what I mean?
Right. But it was the reason, and I remember reading the comments.
Yeah.
And I was getting pissed because they weren't understanding. You cannot elevate yourself.
Right.
When you elevate yourself, the folk around you have to elevate themselves as well, or otherwise you can't roll with me. Because if you think that is fun, you were talking something that was truly life and death. And so there's the point when you were like, no. This is life and death I'm talking about. This ain't no joke. This ain't no, we just, remember that moment. No, this is real, because, and I said this to Charlamagne and Emmy when I was on, we always got to be mindful of what comes out of this into that mic that goes out into the world and how that thing is received. That's why when you were like, yo, because somebody was watching and listening. And that's why I thought that was why that was so critically important, that you couldn't let it pass.
Yeah. But then in the middle of it, the outburst that I did make, I had to find some kind of resolution to where, because that could have went.
Right. But you had to turn into I got turned into a teaching moment.
Right.
As opposed to, okay, you better get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
I mean, but because that's how also some kid in the classroom is going to respond. That's what happens when there's a kid out there who he doesn't have more than one pair of shoes.
Whoa.
And the kids are sitting there laughing and snickering and not understanding what that brother is going through.
Right.
And so that's sort of how, like, everything is not fun and games.
No, it's not. And I agree with you on that. So to be able to think in those moments and know that when you're addressing somebody, you're addressing a person that you don't know what's going on with them.
Right.
And if you don't know, then I think you should move cautiously, you know what I mean? Have a little compassion about a person speaking on their life experiences, especially when it's involving their kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I just think that when you talk about what OGs in neighborhoods said, I apply that to everything. I apply that. I mean, I don't care what it is. I remember growing up in Clinton Park in Houston. I'm walking down the street, and I'm just walking, man. I'm looking down, and I don't know who this brother is.
Yeah.
I don't know. He said, young man, he said, don't ever walk with your head down. He said, lift your head up.
That's deep.
He said, don't ever do it. And again, he just kept walking. But I remember that.
That was deep.
To today, that if I'm walking, I'm thinking, I will instinctively remember that and look up. It's when people introduce me to their kids, and they shake, I literally look me in the eye.
Oh, now it brushed off on you.
I literally will tell them, like, if you go, because they'll be head down looking out. No, I'll literally say, no, look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Now, what's your name? It's just those things like that person may, and I'll have parents like, oh my God, you're right. It never even occurred to them that their child was doing that.
I think I heard that one time before. I was looking down and somebody told me to hold your head up. You feel me? And it was so surprising that I was like, oh, I was holding my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So I think there are life lessons like that we have a responsibility, whether it's our kids or not, whether that's just somebody we just met, whether it's cousins or whatever, to be able to pass those things down and just not accept them as they are in our community.
Yeah, it still takes a village.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it ain't just you.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you can, because you don't know the impact on that. How has what you've gone through and what you have, how you publicly speak to it, how has that changed you musically?
It changed musically, right?
Because like Aretha Franklin said to Whitney, baby, when you go through some stuff, your music gonna change.
It do. And when I say that, I say this. Before the rehab and the overdoses and all the things that I've been through, I talked about things and I glorified things in a way from a standpoint of a user. You feel me? Now, with everything that I've been through and I've seen, I don't glorify it as a user. I speak on it from an educational standpoint, what it has done, what it made me feel like. You feel what I'm saying? You won't per se hear me say, oh, well, I'm rolling up one now, or oh, I'm popping this, or I'm drinking that. I can't speak to you in that way no more.
Right.
Because that's no longer what it is. You feel me? I'm saying I have a way now that I have to speak on it like, this is what that did. This is what position it put me in. This is what can happen to you if, you feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, it changed how I speak about the struggles that most of us go through. In addiction, you might think you're having fun. You feel what I'm saying? I beg to differ.
Well, I mean, what's the young brother? His name is escaping me, I'm sorry. The rapper who just overdosed.
Rich on McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, perfect example, I'm sure there were cats around him who he was going through stuff and he may not have been sharing, may not have been talking, may not have been, and whether they're a rapper or not, we see we're living in a world with fentanyl and all kind of different stuff. People are dealing with their issues by medicating, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's whatever, and it's always like, man, I wonder if that one conversation could have triggered them. And somebody's just speaking to me in a different way.
You know what's crazy? We fellowship with killing ourselves slowly. We all join together. You feel me? We think it's a thing. You know what I mean? Hey, what you bought, man? What you got, man? I got some lean. Well, you know what I'm saying? And we have these meetings, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be meeting up, doing different things, but we're meeting up, enjoying killing ourselves.
Like, I'm from Houston, and the syrup, the whole, that was like a whole.
That's what drank at, buddy.
Bruh, then it was a brother who was an NFL player. Who got arrested because he literally goes to prison.
That's crazy.
Because they hit him on trying to sell batches of this dude.
He got a trafficking charge.
He got out, survived. You make it to the NFL.
Oh, I think I remember that. I think I remember seeing that.
I think he played for the Rams or something like that. And it's like,
I remember that, bro. That was crazy. He said he was down, you know what I mean? Then he went back to hustling, and that happened like that.
Well, there was another brother, he played at Texas A&M, whose career ended because he was addicted to the syrup. I mean, and so you're right. I mean, when you put it exactly, we are having a great time.
Yes.
Killing ourselves.
Yeah, and the fellowship of it is crazy. I'm talking about we meeting up every week with this, crowds of us, you know, enjoying it. You know what I mean? And so it bled off into the hip hop community to where I was one of the ones, I couldn't wait to talk about what a pill did to me and how it made me feel and mix it in with women and, you know what I mean? And guess what? It went for a second, but then my outcome was an overdose. So, hey.
So what do you do now? What is now the let's get together and enjoy life?
Let's get together and enjoy life. Let's get together and break these generational curses. Let's get together and find out things about ourselves that we put off for the duration of being addicted. Because in addiction, it's a lot of things that I did not think of doing. My manners, like, I didn't understand that. Once I got off drugs, I was like, I have no manners. Like, I'm digging in my nose, burping. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not patient. You know what I mean? We out shopping. I'm getting my stuff. I'm ready to go. It's not all about me. You feel me? I felt like when I got off drugs, I was like, oh, this is who I am. So let's get back to who we are and what we need to be for our families. Let's stop hooking up and putting that off, running from what we need to be in the future for our loved ones and our children.
Have you seen a shift among those around you?
Yes, a big shift. A lot of my people waiting on me to go back.
Slip up.
A lot of them don't believe it. Some people still offer. Hey, bro, you sure? I'm sure. You know what I mean? Or I'm about to order some drink. You drink now? I'm like, nah. And then someone's like, you really don't pop pills no? I'm like, nah.
You're like, no.
No. You know what I mean? And I can handle it from the public, but when loved ones do it,
right,
kind of hurts. You feel me?
Because
know what I've been through.
Right.
Firsthand.
Like, Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
Look, that can't be everybody on tour. He don't play that.
No.
He's like, because his whole deal is, if you love me,
yes,
then you would know better not to do that around me.
I agree with that. Yeah, so the thing about it is, how much do you care? Like in Atlanta, the young people, they call each other twin this, twin that, and I get it. You're just like me. We have some of the same likes. We like the same shoes. The atmosphere, we dig it the same. But how much do you care about your twin? Would you let your twin crash out? Would you let your twin overdose? Would you let your twin kill him and get life? So I use that for me too. When with my twins, about like, me and you share some of the same things. So I'll call you twin. What's up, twin? Like, because the comment that you left, you were understanding how I understood it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you care about me enough to call me your twin, then don't offer me this.
Right.
Support me on that.
So that phrase, in another space, we call that accountability partner. In another space, we call that armor bearer.
Yeah.
In another space, we call that brother, sister.
Yeah.
And so I remember we were, his brother, he runs an organization, and we had a conference, and his ass was drunk. He was drunk. So we came, and he had just gotten his job, major job. So we came back, and I'm talking about his ass. He in the lobby singing. I was like, why don't you shut your ass up? And so I literally because I've never drank in my life.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I've never drank in my life. I've never had an energy drink. I've never done drugs in my life. People hand me alcohol. I'm like, my parents love it. They like, oh, we appreciate the champagne they get. I never had in my life. I literally had his ass pressed up against the elevator.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's coming?
Yeah.
Threw his ass in the elevator, took his ass up to his room, and I was like, yo, you ain't messing this up. So then like 3 years later, he got another job, another huge job. We had a conference. His ass, he drunk. Oh, I'm about to head home. I'm like, no, you not. I said, your ass ain't driving home. I went to the organizer. I was like, yo, y'all got an extra room? I threw his ass in the hotel room. I said, you ain't driving home. To this day, he like, yeah, man. He like, roast saved my ass. But my deal was, I'm not gonna stand here and see the condition you're in and then not intercede.
Yeah.
I absolutely threw his ass in the hotel room. And there was nothing he was gonna be able to say. And then if he resisted, I would have to knock his ass out.
That's crazy. But you know what, though? I can respect that. But you the type of person that a person like me would respect, and I would be grateful for a person that knows me and knows me. You feel me? I know you, and I'm gonna know you.
Oh, you see it.
You
I mean,
feel
you see it. I mean,
that's real.
Man, please. I remember I was at a church. I'm sitting here, the pastor finished preaching. I see this sister come from the back. She walking up. As she walking up, she unbuttoning. I saw that. So go to the front, and pastor sweat and everything. She said, let me go get you a towel.
Yeah.
And I'll grab some. I was like, here. Like, oh, now I'm waiting for her to bring me. I said, you're going to take these goddamn napkins.
Let me help you out.
I was like,
let me help you out.
You're going to take these goddamn napkins.
Yeah.
And the look at my face like, I see what the hell. I see potentially what about to brew. Yeah. You're going to take these and wipe your damn forehead.
Hey, you're like, bro, get the napkin, bro.
See, so sometimes you need there's a look like.
You need that, man. You know what I mean? Because you could have been the type of person like, oh, boy, you got that napkin.
Right.
Nah.
I literally was like, you better take these goddamn napkins and wipe your damn forehead. Yeah. But it's just, sometimes you got to have folk around you who watching you.
Distractions, too. I'm big on distractions. Like, while you're trying to focus on the task at hand, distractions can come along in so many forms. And I think one of the reasons why I have this phone and
a flip.
Yeah. Distractions are big, you know what I mean? And the reason why I say that because what you was just saying about she would come in and she unbuttoned, but he was preaching the word. You feel me? You're supposed to be focused on saving souls. Here come the devil with a napkin. It should have been on fire.
Was fine. She was fine, but like,
yeah, man.
I know the size of your church. Yeah. I know the whole. Like you see all.
You want to be surrounded by people like you that tell people that. You feel me? Because a clique full of yes men is the beginning of the end. You know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Everybody telling you and this and that, and then once that distraction get there, without somebody around you that can hold you accountable for who you need to be and not who you want to be.
Yep.
Because I want to do a lot of things, but what I need to be doing is something totally different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So being around somebody that knows you and know you is dope.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's always. That's why I say who you surround yourself with is so vital.
Yes.
Because they can either lift you up, or they can tear you down, or they can allow you to do things that you know. And then when you going through that personal hell, they nowhere around.
Nowhere around. Man, let me tell you something. I got party favors from so many people. I was able to call and, hey, look, man, what you got over there? Y'all got perks, y'all got lean, you feel me? Oh, yeah. Man, when I was going through my recovery and I was on a whole nother mission, I couldn't get nobody to support that. When I go out and speak at these seminars, trying to spread this information, nobody was there. Nobody supported it. You feel me? To this day, I do like I speak on senseless gun violence, and we try to bridge the gap on mental and behavioral health. Mm-hmm. And we go into these neighborhoods and we go into these communities and we try to grab these kids. Man, I can't find nobody that had something to do with the addiction nor the behavior at these places. And but we supposed to have loved each other in this struggle though.
You could have got 24/7.
Hey, boy, I love you, twin. Boy, whatever, boy. I'm down. You feel me? And I'm like, what a down in the love at?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like when you change for the better and you switch it up and you start having revelations about new things and new heights. You feel what I'm saying? People start falling off.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And then when you look around, like I ain't gonna lie to you. I do get lonely. I do thrive to have that party conversation all the time.
Right.
Hey, boy, everybody at?
Right.
Hey, boy, everybody out there? You feel me? But at what cost though?
Yep.
I spread myself thin and now I'm not training my mind to grow. You feel me? I'm having these senseless conversations about nothing. Nobody's going anywhere. We just talking about what's going on at the club and what fine girl was there and what drug was being took. And after that, what hotel was went to, and then repeat.
See, it's so funny, man. People hit me And I remember I was on the Tom Joyner cruise. We were coming back, and I playing golf, whatever. And this woman turns to me and she's like, well, I'm sure glad to see you calm down because you sure were a crazy and drunk last night. And I was like, no. She's like, oh, yes, she got indignant. You know, the first 2 times, I'm going to be nice about it.
Right.
I'm like, well, no. She's like, oh, yeah, no, you were absolutely drunk. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, who the hell are you talking to?
Right.
I said, you full of shit.
Yeah.
I said, I've never drank in my damn life.
Yeah.
I said, I have fun.
Right.
I said, I'm a party, I'm a sweat.
Yeah.
I said, don't you ever talk to me like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, yeah, you damn right you sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had to go off on her.
Check that.
Right, I had to check her.
Yeah.
Because what happens is people go, man, you be out there just, and I was like, yes, you can actually dance and have a great time and party, and you ain't got to drink nothing, take nothing.
Listen.
People swear I'm high. I say, yes, I'm high on life.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because I thought I couldn't do that unless drugs was involved.
Bruh.
People need to know that life is behind all of that. Like, you don't need all that stuff to be kicking it. I thought life, I was like, man, if I ain't rolling no blunt.
Man, it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, where we going next? Then we go to this spot, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, where we going next? Like, the hell is wrong with you? They like,
having fun, baby.
Like, we getting to the crib at 6. I remember we were in Miami, first night we did American Black Film Festival. Henry was with me, it was like first night. He was like, man, we got to the hotel it's 4:55. I said, oh yeah, it's gonna be 6:30 tomorrow. He's like, the hell wrong with you? I think the next night we got back about 8:30.
That's crazy.
And it was like I had a hell of a night.
Yeah, hell of a night.
You know, just fantastic time.
Yeah.
But again, but people swear, they like, dude, you own something. I'm like, yes, you can enjoy this thing called life.
I'm glad.
Without, I drink water and cranberry juice.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's just so for me, it's the music. It's just the high is the fun. The high is like, if I go party and I don't sweat, that party sucks.
I'm glad to hear that.
I got to peel you gotta peel your clothes off. You're like, oh, that was a party. When you got to like peel your stuff off, that's how I measure parties.
Yeah.
But that's just life. That's just enjoying life.
That just sealed it for me, for thinking the way that I used to think. And then I experienced it, but hearing you say that just seals it for me.
Oh, I'm telling you, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
We go somewhere, you can be like, I know he got to be on something because he just crazy. But again, that's the beauty of just enjoying life and just the moment. That's what it is.
That's dope.
So let me know. Hey,
where we at?
Come to DC.
Where we at, twin?
Just let me know, and you're gonna be like, I need to go take a nap because rolling with him, he crazy.
When we connect, it's over.
That's it. I appreciate it, my brother.
I appreciate you.
All right, absolutely.
Appreciate the love and all that, the support. I needed that, man. I always appreciate that.
All right, be well.
Yes, sir.